Hey everyone, and welcome to our Q&A presented by Just Love. My name is Paula Jane and I'm talking to Judy Carroll. Judy is an internationally known author. Her books include The Zeta Message, Human by Day, Zeta by Night, Extra-Terrestrial Presence on Earth Lessons in History, and her two most recent books, both of them are Kindle editions, An Interview with an Alien, Comments by an Undercover ET, and Cosmic Spirituality, Blending Religion and Science in Oneness from an Off-Planet Perspective. Hi Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
So, we are all on our own individual, unique journey, and even though we may not be consciously aware, this time on Earth has been pre-planned. We signed up for it, we had specific things that we wanted to do, all of us. So your journey, Judy, is illuminated more so because you have memory of your past life, and you know that you came here to assist in the evolution of human consciousness, this ascension period here on Earth.
Yes, Paula, I do. I made a pre-birth choice to come here as part of an off-planet mission to assist humanity through the shift from 3D to 5D. For this reason, I chose to operate through a blended soul consciousness, which enables me to connect consciously with two rather than just one planetary collective.
And the two planetary collectives being the Earth Human Collective Consciousness in your Earth form as Judy Carroll, and the Grey Collective Consciousness in your form known as Elorkah, a Grey. As Elorkah, you have a cultural connection with the Zeta reticulan star culture. Thus the title of your book, The Zeta Message. Is that correct?
Yes, and in order to continue the mission with the Zetas that I was involved with in my last life, I've carried that consciousness over into the present life down here. In this way, I have a foot in both camps, so to speak, both the Earth Human Collective Consciousness and the Grey Collective Consciousness. As both environmental and genetic scientists, the Greys are playing a major role in the planetary energy shift on Earth. The Zeta Greys, who are the main ones involved in this mission, along with their mantled elders, had their beginnings on Earth as ant people. This is why they have such a deep connection and concern for Earth.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell us what you're doing now for us right now in your Grey form as Elorkah at this pivotal moment on the planet? Like throughout your life here on Earth as Judy and also in your life as Elorkah, I'm sure there's been many times that you would deem critical and crucial. But in your life now on planet Earth as Judy, it would appear that this time is where humanity requires all the assistance that it can get. The shift from 3D to 5D is firmly upon us, and more people are aware that something is happening even though it's been gaining momentum since the beginning of time.
Yes, Paula, one of the main jobs we do is carrying out genetic work by taking people up on the ships to assist in the upgrading of their DNA. Our whole hybrid program revolves around this and is assisting both cultures, Zeta Greys and Earth humans. We're also trying our best to influence humanity into taking better care of Earth's environment.
So when you say to assist in the upgrading of human DNA, does your memory allow you to expand upon that? It may not be an easy thing to explain to us in our 3D form, and obviously on deeper levels of your being, you have that absolute knowing of what you have been doing as Elorkah. I was just wondering, as our 3D consciousness is expanding, can you tell us things now that you wouldn't have been able to tell us before because we wouldn't have understood them? Or not?
It's really not all that complex. The bottom line is all Earth humans are hybrids, in that everybody carries off-planet genetics in their DNA. This is what makes a human human as opposed to animal. As Greg Braden explains in his book, Human by Design, science now accepts that human DNA was edited from chimpanzee DNA in 2 chromosomes, 2 and 8, 200,000 years ago. One edit enabled complex spoken language and the other enhanced human reasoning. If Earth humans didn't have star genetics in their makeup, they'd still be covered in hair and swinging through the trees, as their close cousins still do. What is being done by the ETs is simply adding in more off-planet DNA to enable a more expanded state of conscious awareness. This has the effect of shifting humanity from a divisive and fear-oriented herd instinct into a more expanded and peace-orientated sense of oneness with all life. I'm reading a beautiful book at the moment by author and ET hybrid Jacquelin entitled Star Being in the Mirror. Jacquelin and I are close friends, and she has extremely clear memories of her life up on the ships with her beloved star family. The way she describes this deep understanding and practice of oneness among all the star folks is so beautiful. The different greys from the Zeta, Arcturian and Alpha Centauri star systems, mantids, cat people, chameleon-type lizard people, angelic beings, they all work together in complete respect and harmony. Her star parents are tall white Zetas. Just to quote a couple of short passages, one is headed, Star Beings on the Ship. Their minds are singular and silent, unlike the human mind, untamed and unruly as a hurricane. And the other one, on the ship, life is calm and still here. No duality, only peace, love and joy that flows like heavenly light through the living ship and star beings. It flows through me too.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Like heavenly light. That's so lovely. And so interesting. If only people on Earth could cooperate together in that way, what a different world we'd be living in. Judy, when you say that you influence people into taking better care of the Earth's environment, can you expand on that? For example, do we all gather in some sort of an auditorium up on the ship where we are spoken to by the Greys? Or are we given advice and strategies up there about going forward with taking better care of the planet? Or is it just something that's done telepathically down here?
Both, Paula. Groups of people are taken up on the ships at night while their physical bodies are asleep. This is done so that they can receive teachings on how to better care for the planet. The other way we do it is more individual, particularly when we're dealing with world leaders. We try to telepathically link into their mind to suggest better ways of doing things in order to promote a cleaner and healthier environment on Earth.
I think at our core we all want to assist at this time. So do you have any advice on suggestions on how we can do this? Does Elorkah have anything to say on how we can reach out and connect to our family from higher dimensions, to our guides and to our angels? Things are rapidly changing, and I think we are up for anything new to do. If either of you or Maris have anything to share, he can chime in here if he also wishes.
Oh, gee, yours makes me cough. So no, Maris, please just let me talk. The ascension process that humanity is passing through is very much to do with personal choice. You create your own reality through your thought processes and what you focus your mind on. So the thing to ask yourself is, are my thoughts and focus based on love or on fear? That's the bottom line and the question that everyone really needs to think deeply about.
I love that.
People who always focus on what's wrong in their lives and what they don't have draw this victim and lack vibe into their energy field, which only serves to hold them in negativity. Focusing on what is going right for you and having a mindset of gratitude has the opposite effect, bringing good things in. As for connecting with higher dimensions, I've just finished reading a brilliant book entitled The Afterlife Frequency by Mark Anthony, an ex-lawyer who now works as a medium for spirit contact. He's a fourth-generation psychic, but at the same time an extremely grounded person who does some great work in this field. I'll add his link in with our info below, along with Jacquelin Smith's link. His advice in connecting with the higher spiritual frequencies of energy is to use what he refers to as the RAFT technique, R-A-F-T. This acronym stands for Recognise, Accept, Feel and Trust. As he says, most of us have interdimensional contact at some time during our lives, but being able to recognise it for what it is, accept it, feel it and trust in the process is the key, rather than just dismissing these things as being just imagination. As I was told very early in the piece when I started having contact experiences, people are way too quick to put things down as just imagination in a derogatory way. Imagination is actually a portal to higher energy frequencies and should not be dismissed so quickly and in such an offhanded manner. This applies both with spirit and off-planet contact.
That's good. So keeping in mind that we agreed to be here at this time and hopefully happy to be here at the same time, it's not always easy. Is there anything that you want to remind us of here? Anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, I'd like to point out to those who get angry because the ETs won't just step in and fix everything for us. Free will prevails on Earth, so the off-planet folks cannot just step in and take over. Humans need to learn to make the right choices and decisions for themselves. Even if the ETs could just press a button and fix everything on Earth, if Earth humans themselves don't learn to live in harmony rather than in opposition to each other and their planet, everything would soon revert back to the sorry state it's in now. The ascension process through which humanity is passing is very much to do with individual choice. You create your own reality through your thought processes. So, are your thoughts based in love or fear? That's the bottom line and the question you need to ask. You are all creators in training on school planet Earth, and the lesson humanity is here to learn is positive creativity as opposed to negative creativity. This is why free will prevails down here. The off-planet people cannot just step in and take over. Humans need to learn to make the right choices and decisions themselves. You learn through consequences just as children do. The other thing is the controller group who hijacked the planet millennia ago do not want to give up their control and exploitation of humanity. So they're doing their best to either deny the reality of the ET presence or else demonise us. This makes it extra hard for us to make meaningful contact.
I like that creators in training create positively. Judy, you were chosen as part of this mission to assist humanity because you have previous experience as a grey with the same kind of thing that happened on planet Earth right now.
Yes, definitely, but it was my choice. As greys, we understand intimately what Earth plane humanity is going through. We too have been there and done that. We took an identical path in a very early time on Earth and have paid dearly for it. It's taken us eons to recover. It saddens us deeply to see humanity going down the same path and making the same mistakes that we made. This is why we're the main ones helping out.
Yeah. And that particular life that you remember as a grey on planet Earth wasn't Elorkah, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was a much earlier life as an ant person. The ant people were an insectoid human species created on an earlier version of Earth than the one we know today. An almost identical situation arose back then with our people, as is happening with present-day Earth humans, in that we overpopulated the planet and also began experimenting with higher technology that we didn't have the spiritual ability to handle properly. We were extremely well advanced in genetic engineering, as that was the work we were initially created to carry out on Earth. As insectoids, our role involved working closely with the nature spirits to develop a planetary environment that would provide diversity for many life forms that were to be introduced and adapted to the planetary ecosystems that we'd established. Because of the overpopulation problem, our people became more and more competitive and major wars broke out, which in the end destroyed the planet. This is the reason why we are horrified to see present-day humanity making use of nuclear weaponry and going down the same path. To go from being a very knowledgeable spiritual creator race to being responsible for completely ruining the environment of our home world was too much for our collective consciousness to bear. We were completely traumatised and knew at the depth of our being that it was out of control emotion that had driven us, just as it drives present-day humans to commit terrible acts of cruelty and violence. Using our genetic knowledge, we set to work to breed this destructive emotion completely out of our psyches. But we are a human culture, and human cultures cannot survive without emotion. It's an intrinsic and necessary part of being human, and so our culture went into a serious decline. This is the reason why our people, who have the ability to cross time and space, were given permission by the universal governing body to carry out an exchange program with the human culture of Earth. Our genetic knowledge to assist humanity through the current planetary shift in exchange for present-day human genetics to help us to regain our emotional component. Because we are not limited by time and space, we have come forward through time, and future members of our own grey culture have been able to come back through time to assist us. along with the Earth human culture that we can see taking the same wrong path that we took. I know this is extremely complex to explain, with crossovers in time and space involved. Perhaps we can talk more on this in another episode.
We will definitely talk more about this. I think it's explained very well. So, Judy, both you and Elorkah have a role to play in all of this. And because you are a dual consciousness, you, Judy, have access to higher consciousness as well. And that guidance usually comes from your guide, Mars, which you refer to as family. I know that you usually call on Mars when you want answers when things seem unfathomable. I was just wondering, in your life as Elorkah, do you need to call on Mars as often? I'm thinking that Elorkah is further up on the human ladder, probably at the 3rd or 4th rung.
Yes, when I'm working through the consciousness of Elorkah, I'm much more aware that Mars is simply a higher part of my own soul being. I'm strongly aware of being very much at one with him. This is so hard to describe in words. There's just not the separation between dimensions that there is here.
Yeah, I understand that. After all, up there, we're working through a much more expanded consciousness and we're so much more attuned to oneness than our limited 10% consciousness down here that we access down here. So if you want to read more about all of this, just to remind everybody, Judy's books are available from Amazon, or you can go directly through Judy's website, which is included in the link below. Judy's also going to leave in the link below Jacquelin's book, Star Being in the Mirror, My Journey as a Hybrid by Jacquelin Smith. Or you can get it from Amazon as well. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and family and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, sending you all much love and thank you all for listening. Bye for now.